Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's Vol here, and it's game 2 versus Santiago against Shade. And sorry I got the names wrong in the previous video, but it's Santiago as Orcs versus Shade's Eldar. The map is Outer Reaches. Shade has picked this map. Santiago has picked this map because he lost the previous game, and it will now be up to Shade to try and seal the victory and get through to the grand final of the Elseware Entertainment Soulstorm tournament. Guys, I hope you've been enjoying this matchup so far. These two players are fairly skilled players. We had a fairly intense competition in the previous game, I should say. Looks like Slugger Boys for Santiago, same build as he had last time, so hopefully he isn't stifled by that same strategy that Shade used. But actually, having a look at Shade's aspect portal here, it looks to be that he is training some Howling Banshees. Why, I do not know. I typically would have thought that if he had won the previous game with Dark Templars and he'd pretty much proved to himself that that's the strategy that's going to beat Santiago's build, then he'd be going for that again. But maybe he's just trying to fool his opponent, be a bit tricky, keep his opponent guessing by going for Howling Banshees. Personally, I think they're a bit of an inferior choice because once the shooter boys get to the field, they're not going to be too powerful, and Santiago's going to have so many squads of sluggers that he can be in a number of different places at once and really just avoid combat with the Banshees. But let's find out what happens. Banshee's intercepting these sluggers straight away, and here comes the Big Mech, and that's what I was worried about. That Big Mech is just going to be able to slug away at them, and even engage them in close combat. And the Howling Banshees aren't going to be awesome in that situation. So here we go. We've even got the Bone Singers joining the fray here. Not really sure how it's going to turn out. In the meantime, Guardians coming in to support. Those Guardians, unfortunately, are prevented from doing their job by the other squads of sluggers. So Santiago's timed this very well. And as you can see, that Big Mech getting some kills on the Banshees already. Just because heroes versus Banshees, obviously the hero at this early stage of the game is going to come out better off. And sluggers decapping that point as well. So putting Shade behind, and this is the situation that Santiago wanted to be in the previous game but didn't achieve it because Shade had managed to get everything up and running before the sluggers really made the push, and that was part and due, I feel, to the Dark Reapers staving them off for a period of time. It's very important. Anyway, Farseer has arrived to the battlefield again to complement the Banshees. That's what Shade's decided to do. Normally I wouldn't go for, well yeah, I would go for Farseer fairly early, to be honest. And mind warring that Big Mech, very important, taking him down, and eventually should be able to pick him off if he keeps hanging in a prolonged combat. But as yet, I haven't really seen any great plays from Shade just yet. He hasn't been able to secure the points. He's really only captured 1 or 2 points so far, whereas Santiago's free to just head around the map and pick up all the points on his side of the map, and eventually come on to Shade's side and pick up some points on that side as well if he needs to and if he wants to. Banshees, unfortunately, Banshees designed for close combat, and you'd expect them to be chasing their opponents rather than the other way around. But here we go, a fight breaking out now. This could be an important fight. Banshees really getting stuck in it, and it looks like Santiago pulling out with his teleportation just because he sees that fight's not going to go his way in the long run with that Farseer there as well. And looks like Santiago's taken the point in the middle of the map, captured it, put a listening post on it. So he's well ahead on territory, and he's not really under any pressure. And that's the thing with Dark Reapers, is if you don't keep them in their own base, having to run around and defend things and continually running away from your troops, then the Dark Reapers will attack you and hit your own points. But that's just not the case here. Shade doesn't have anything putting the pressure on it, and now we see the dreaded shooters on the field. And as you can see here, Farseer sees that. Shade realizes what's going on and moves over there to engage them in close combat. But as you can see, those Banshees are just going to be running around, never staying still in a single combat, otherwise the shooters are just going to take it on. Oh, nice play there by Santiago. Garrisoning the building with the shooters, and as you can see, that's a total showstopper for the Eldar. Banshees have to pull back, otherwise they're just going to be running around with the listening post shooting at them. And if they do retreat, then the shooters just leave the building and start firing at them. So very bad positioning from Shade. And I just don't really agree with his choice of going for the Banshees and Farseer earlier on. Had he just repeated his strategy and gone Dark Reapers, we might have seen a 2-0 victory, and that might have led to Shade seeing the finals here. However, it could be tied 1-1 if Santiago continues to play as well as he has been so far, and we go to a third game. Although Shade will be able to pick the map, and he'll be able to go for Dark Reapers again, so we'll see how that ends up in the long run. Looks like Mind War again on the Big Mech. So that's effective. Just reducing his health. Eventually, that Farsi will be able to get the better of that Big Mac. But, you know, decent Orc economy, Big Mac will be back. So that's going to be a worry. Shooters in the background getting a lot of damage done there. And in the meantime, Rangers have appeared on the field to snipe these sluggers. But of course, Rangers detected by the Big Mac, and because that Big Mac has stayed alive for so long, these sluggers really doing a lot of damage. They're going to be able to decap that point as well, just preventing Shade from taking that crucial point. In the meantime, Santiago has actually captured another point in Shade's own territory, upgrading it there in the background, and he's got the pile of guns going up. Economy is in really good shape here for the Orcs, and it doesn't really matter what happens next, unless Shade manages to put some pressure on. But Farsi are chasing down the Big Mac. I feel like he's probably going to be able to take it out fairly shortly. Looks like a Psychic Storm going off, still not taking it out. So if Santiago's able to retreat with his Big Mac, he might even be able to keep him alive for some time and really prevent his hero from being assassinated. That'd be nice. Banshee's able to take up this point finally. Well, let's see if they do manage that. In the meantime, Rangers supporting them against those sluggers. And Big Mac carefully waiting for the Farsi to leave the combat and then coming back in for just a little bit of harassment. And not for too long though. The Rangers just start sniping them, getting rid of the morale. Yeah, wouldn't really want to be in Santiago's position, sorry. Wouldn't want to be in Shade's position right now. He's got the shooters to deal with, he's got the Big Mac to deal with, he's got that territory mismatch to deal with. Those Rangers aren't proving to be too effective, neither are the Banshees at this point in time. And this could be it for the Big Mac though. Let's watch what happens. The Farsi has got him where he wants him. Big Mac about to go down. I'm not sure how much difference it's going to make in the general scheme of things, but at least he's got an opportunity to get a little bit of headway. And there's the Mind War, and that's going to be the death of the Big Mac, surely. There he goes now. So Farsi has secured a small victory, but I must stress it is a very small victory, and unfortunately that's it. Yeah, goodness me. Orcs retreating now, but they have deserved it. They've achieved what they needed to. They've got plenty of territory elsewhere on the map. They've got upgrades coming. We should be seeing some Storm Boys or some vehicles before long, and Shade is nowhere near tier 2. He's got a lot of recapping to do. He's had to invest a fair bit in reinforcing his Howling Banshees, unfortunately. Catching a group of sluggers off guard here, but Santiago can afford to lose sluggers. He's kept the rest of his forces alive, crucially. If you guys remember watching that game between Sombrero and Marty, what Marty didn't do initially was keep his troops alive, and Sombrero had an opportunity to win there. He didn't take it, but Santiago is just not giving his opponent that opportunity. He's just keeping his forces alive where he can, and man, that's a lot of shooters. He's managed to reinforce them, and he's got more squads in, and of course once the Big Mac shows in to remove the stealth, those shooters just totally trashing that supposed. They're going to be moving to the kill. In the meantime, looks like Shade's getting rid of an enlisting post here, but the sad thing is that that's a listing post in his own territory. He's not making any headway there, he's just making up for what he lost earlier on and decapping that point. Santiago doesn't really care, he's just moving in with his guys, and that's just going to be it. Moving in with all those sluggers. Once the shooters catch up with those Banshees, it's going to be all over for Shade, unfortunately. I'm sorry to say it, but it's going to be a 1-all. Just waiting to see that happen, and Shade now avoiding those shooters for the moment. Eventually, they're going to be on his doorstep, though. Another group of shooters upgraded with big shooters, and we've got knob leaders in there as well. And now Shade's just waiting for the inevitable. He's not in a position to attack. He's going to be defending. We've got Storm Boys there as well, which is quite cool. So everybody's got the morale back by the looks. Sluggers taking another point, retaking that point further in Shade's own territory, and the one in the center as well. Shade's trying to prevent that from happening now, but it's just a matter of time before the shooters show back up again to really cream them. And look at this. Oh, moving into the crossfire. Bad move here by Shade. He's just going to get mopped up by that massive crossfire of shooters there. Trying to get into close combat. We've got a whole entire free squad of shooters there to kill him. And look at those Banshees just getting slaughtered there. Only one of them left, and bam, that's going to be it for the Banshee. And the Rangers are going to be next. The Rangers are going to have to pull back ASAP. We've got a whole squad of shooters available just to kill him. Look at that, 4 guys dead already. Another whole lot dead. Man, that's looking very bad for Shade, and I've got to say it, that's it. That's going to be the game, guys. And fairly well played there by Santiago. I'm just disappointed with the whole strategy choice of
3 minutes until
Shade there. You need Dark Reapers at the beginning. You need more than Banshees. Banshees really do not cut it in Tier 1. And they're decent in Tier 2 in some situations. You might want to use them against Necrons in some situations, but again, against Orcs, I wouldn't really recommend it. I'd go for Dark Reapers wherever possible. And that's it. All the Rangers getting shot at the beginning. And Shade complaining about pathing. And what is that? No, it's got a Dark Reapers showing up right at the last minute. Where were they 10 minutes ago? Anyway, that's it for the game, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. We're going to go to a very exciting finisher. Best of 3 decider coming up.